What is up, guys? Welcome back to Just Tech. Today I thought we could do a little paint mod, I guess. What is on this? So I'm not sure if you could really consider this a mod, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using Plasti Dip to test doing some highlights on the back bezel here behind the front shield, and then I think I'm going to try to do this little bezel where the ports are as well. And then I'm going to probably do the PCI card covers. And then that's probably it. I don't want to get like too crazy and have a bunch of like white highlights blown out, all over the case. But I also got these ML140s, and I got one of them in white, and that's going to be in the back of the case. So I think it'll kind of all tie together pretty well. So, that being said, I guess we can start taking this thing apart and see what what's involved. All right, so in order to take this apart, all we're going to do is just remove this front shield, which just pops off. In case anybody's watching this trying to take theirs apart. And then there's a handle here, so you should be able to just pull this bezel off. And it's just clipped in with these round knobs here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not, but they just pop in. There's 6 of them there. So the only downside to this is if we're going to paint this mesh material behind here is not like screwed on or anything. It's actually, it looks like, I don't know if they glue it down or how they adhere it, but it's adhered to the case. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just tape this center section off, and we'll just paint the edge, and that's all that's really going to be seen anyway. So we'll start with that. Aside from that, I was talking about painting this piece around the USB ports. So we're going to remove these 2 screws that are holding that in. And then once you have those 2 screws removed, you're going to want to flip this guy over. And there's actually 3 screws behind that, 1, 2, and 3, and that's what holds this board. I'm guessing that's what holds this board in place. So let's remove those. Sure enough, that's what was holding it in. So now we just have the plastic bezel here. So the only problem I see already is that there's actually a reset button here. You can see that. And that reset button is actually like, looks like it's glued on or heated on or like plastic soldered or something. So we're going to have to try to figure out a workaround for that. But the bezel itself is off, so that's good. Alright guys, so a quick workaround that I found for this part is I just basically pulled this little button here back as gently as I could, and I slipped a piece of paper underneath there, and it was a little tedious, but that's all that really matters, is that the button is covered and that the paint can actually get inside that border there, if you guys can see what I'm talking about. So moving on, let's get those PCI card covers off. So inside the case here, you can see we got all these PCI card covers. They should be held on by thumb screws, which apparently were fastened down with the strength of Hercules. So don't lose your screws. Since we're already taking things apart, I think we may as well just go ahead and remove the Phanteks fans that we're not going to be using. Alright guys, so we're just going to tape this off here. And I think I'm going to tape it off right past the grill. It's easier to do one long piece so you get a straight line. Do the same on this side. Do a little extra piece there just to keep it from getting underneath. And that should be it. And obviously make sure that this plastic that you're going to be painting is clean, which I already did. You could just use like soap and water, whatever's easy. That should be it. I'm just going to shake this for a minute. And then we just want to do a light, even coat. set and dry for a little bit. We're going to do the same thing for these covers as well. And that should be good enough for now. We'll just continue to do a couple coats. Alright guys, so I was hoping to show you guys the final coat of plastic dip, but kind of ran out of daylight. But basically what I ended up doing is about 4 coats on the plastic parts, and I did about 3 coats on these metal plates, and then I did the backside for 2 coats. So it came out pretty good. It's still a little tacky because I think you're supposed to let it dry for like a full day. But I think we'll be okay to put it in as long as we're pretty careful. But typically it's a good idea to let it dry for you know, whatever the full curing time is, which I think is 24 hours. This is the front bezel piece that we painted, and the only thing that I did find as kind of an issue is when I was painting it, I did get a little bit of like overspray underneath here, but shouldn't be anything that's going to cause an issue. I think you can kind of see it here. I just cleaned the grill up as soon as I noticed it was getting a little bit of overspray, but it should be fine. So I guess we can finally peel off this tape here. So this is the only part about the plastic dip that interesting. So if you kind of notice, it's actually tearing a little bit of the plastic dip here, which isn't a huge deal because that's not going to be visible, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut along the line of tape here. And I'm not really putting a lot of pressure. I'm just trying to put a nick in the plastic dip itself. Hopefully that's enough to separate it, which seems to be working pretty well. So, if you guys decide to do this, obviously don't be a dummy and tear it off like me. And the nice thing is, since we did use plastic dip, if you did have a tear like this and it was something that was going to be visible, you can actually just peel this stuff off. So. Alright guys, I'm going to try to be real quick with the closing because it is a million degrees in here. But this is just a quick rundown version of how to add some highlights or some plastic dip to your build. You know, if you want to throw some contrast in there that maybe isn't there, but maybe you're not committed to actually painting everything. So hopefully this was helpful. Sorry I didn't get to cover the paint process a little bit more thoroughly, but pretty much just follow those same guidelines. Make sure all the parts are clean before you get started. Make sure you tape off everything that you don't want to get painted, and then make sure you just do thin, even coats and follow the curing time between coats, and also, you know, let it cure thoroughly to you know, before you go ahead and put it in your machine. Obviously I kind of rushed that and broke the rules there, but that's more just because I wanted to get the content together and get it posted for you guys so you can kind of see what's going on with the build. Alright guys, one more thing I did want to mention before we get wrapped up here is the Talios sleeving I did in one of my previous videos. I did this carbon fiber color with black and white, and I ended up going back and re-sleeving with a gray color here, and I think like I mentioned in another video, I think this gray is actually going to be a little bit better for the build. It's going to be a little bit more contrast, so you can kind of see a little difference. So I think I'm going to go back and redo those with the gray. Going back to this video though, if you guys have any feedback on what I plastic dipped, or if there's something else you guys think I should add in there, I didn't want to overdo it with a bunch of white stuff popping out in the case and just kind of be overwhelming, so I kind of kept it minimal. But if you guys have any feedback, please feel free to leave a comment below. Or, you know, let me know what I missed. Maybe I missed something, so leave that down there. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the way out, and if you guys haven't subscribed already, you got to subscribe, you know, help the growth of the channel, and, you know, we're having a good time, so we're going to continue doing that, and until next time, guys, this has been Joe's Tech. Have a good night.